Good afternoon. This is L. Muralidharan. Can you hear me? Good afternoon. Okay. Say, Mayuresh, say what I would like to tell you. Can you hear me? So I will just proceed on to. You can hear you. Okay. Right. Say what exactly I told you even before you could join for this offline classes. That is our tab-based class. Even in the regular class, what I tell students is that at the time of their basic learning or when they take up to advanced learning, we need to make note as very important points. So for example, this morning we had a class on FR on AS23. So the point of time where discussion was on, for the first time they may not take it up very seriously. So I used to repeat thrice, and I would just in the process of lectures I tell this problem is a 5-star problem and this could be a 7-star problem, mark it out as very important. So while revision is taking place, you should compulsorily solve that problem. So because that problem will have almost many adjustments in the topic, you can call them as master problems. So that way, when you earmark certain problems, say out of say 40 problems that you have in one topic, so not all the 40 can be taken up at the time of revision. Maybe you can earmark certain number of problems, say 12 to 15 problems you can try for revision. All those 12-15 problems should be tried without trial, and only then we can proceed. So that way I would only suggest you, while preparation is on, you have got to always keep a note for revision. Okay. So regarding Piyush Gupta, tell me that up to which date notification and amendments are to be taken up for IPCC attempt. Now Mr. Tarun Raj, our IDT faculty, would address you on Piyush.
Hello, Mr. Piyush. Actually, the amendments are applicable for whatever the amendments applicable for May exam are equally applicable for November exam also. There are no new amendments that are applicable for November exams. So you can do one thing, you can just go to the institute's website and there you can see the notifications, that is the amendments, supplementary study material available for IPCC exams for November as well as May, and you can just see the changes in it. That is sufficient for IPCC exam. So any other doubts related to indirect taxes, you can just pose the question. Exam in May 14. Mayuresh, whatever the preparation that you are making for November 13 exams is equally applicable for May 14 exams, except a few changes in direct taxes and indirect taxes. That is, after completion of November exams, you can go to Institute's website and you can find the supplementary study paper for direct as well as indirect taxes, and you can just prepare from that. That is sufficient for May 14 exam. Any other doubts in particular related to indirect tax for IPCC or final? Yeah, actually this tablet mode of taking class is really interesting for me, so that so even I am finding it very enthusiastic in delivering classes through tablet mode, so that we are using many PowerPoint presentations. Yes, Sriram Academy has started tablet course for all levels, not only for final level, IPCC as well as CPT level also. So you can buy, that is for all subjects at final level. Yes, the classes are available. All subjects are available. And through this tablet mode we are able to provide, or we are able to cater to the needs of many students across the India and way out of India. Thank you very much, Mayuresh. Mayuresh from Bangalore is giving a compliment. The video lectures are very convenient, and thanks for all your efforts in this regard. Corporate laws. Corporate laws coming soon. It's in making. We are also waiting for the release. So as soon as it gets released, we'll let you know. Thank you, Mayuresh. So do visit this CA online website to know more updates regarding this corporate laws when it will release all those details. Thank you. Biscuit gone sir. Risk Yeah, over to Muralidharan sir.
See, as far as the preparation itself, We cannot be preparing without any targets. We need to prepare with targets. Even in the lecture itself, I would have just indicated. Is it? How about now? Can you hear me? Now it's okay. Thank you, thank you. Who asked this question? Payment? Piyusha? Piyush. Okay, actually, let me continue with the place where I was just discussing. So, while preparation is on, we should be planning for those problems which are to be taken for revision. So, for that, it is better that you make a note in a small notebook for each subject, and so that the time you sit for revision, we should be in a position to solve only those problems, because the time before us will be very much limited. So, this is what we call it out as a planning. So it is not that 100% coverage can be given for all the subjects considered to be very important, which we cannot miss. So go thorough there. There are areas where the probability may be a little less, but don't leave it, and make a good attempt and have a reasonable preparation. And there is no place where we can say it will not come. So we can only divide the total space into 3. We left just like that. So we need to prepare for that, especially for this AMA paper in the last 2 chances. So they are asking theory question on practical papers. Solve an assignment problem under Hungarian method. It is a theory question. It is an what I would say, a descriptive. The teacher would be telling that the problem can be classified into minimization, maximization, row operation, column operation. See, that sort of I'm asking what is degeneracy in transportation, or which were considered to be sometime back a theory question. Now they have just come to the practical side, the problem area, and they are asking what is that we will be doing. So that sort of focus. Now they are regarding direct taxation and indirect taxation, as Tarun was just telling. So whatever that is applicable for May chance, that would be applicable for that particular calendar year November examination. So therefore there is no separate applicability for November examination. What is that? So whatever they have given in amendments book alone will be applicable for both May and November examination. There is no separate thing given only exclusively for November examination. So May is applicable for one moment, I will just pick up. Applicable for May examination is there is no separate study material that we have it exclusively for November examination. So we do have for both May and November together. So I hope that you are hearing us properly. There is no disturbance here. Then any other query? Any specific query? Are you hearing me, Piyush? Yes, okay. So can you hear me now? So we have just made a small change to the cable. Can you just hear me now? Mayuresh, I remember to have just spoken with you before you could join for these tab classes. How do you find the class going? Okay, much better. Okay, okay, good. Specific queries from Alan said, I am so glad. We had a very a long talk, I think so, some 15-20 minutes we talked. So you were asking a lot of doubts on that, what is our way of preparation and all that. I would only be repeating the same for whoever is making that query. So we need to prepare very well, and we need to develop the notes, and that notes will be the basis on which we have to revise and make a good presentation under examination conditions. So all the very best to all of you. Tarun Raj will be just talking to you. Okay.
Okay, is there any specific queries regarding indirect taxes? Okay, we'll have a small discussion on to the presentation aspect, which plays a key role in practical exams. Is it for the study? The question comes where I should start from. Instrument material should be read first, or the video classes to be taken? This answer is to Mr. Mayuresh. Actually, first the video lectures, like attending the classes. So once you listen to the video lectures, you will get an idea on the subject, the conceptual clarity, and then you can take the book and you can read it. So that is the way. First you listen to the classes and then have an idea on the subject, and then you can take any textbook, you can take the study material or a practice manual, and they can just practice those. Okay, for this is to Mr. Praveen Kumar D. FR textbook itself is the workbook. You can just go through the questions given at the end of each and every chapter in FR textbook. That itself is the workbook. And for SFM, we have a separate workbook which will be provided at the time when you subscribe for the video lectures. and even SFM textbook is also available. But if you want, you can make a separate payment for that and you can buy the book, which is authored by Mr. L. Muralidharan. So this is to Mr. Piyush Gupta. See, the Bonus Act lays down a constructive obligation, but not an obligation on the. Okay, so first we will answer this question, and then I will get back to you. Isha, for IDT, for indirect tax, actually we are supplying the book. You can just go through the book. So as and when you subscribe for the videos, you will be getting 2 textbooks, one for Excise Act and VAT, and the other for Service Tax and Customs. And apart from that, you will be receiving one workbook which contains the problems, and the answers for those problems will be solved in the classroom itself. So this is the thing. So the textbook, you can get it from us itself. Suppose if you want to refer any other textbook, there are many textbooks available in the market, and compared to all those textbooks, Institute Study Material is a very good book. Isha, if you have any doubts on indirect taxes, you can just post it now. So it appears that you have already gone through our videos regarding indirect taxes. If you have any doubts related to indirect taxes, in specific, excise or service tax, you can just ask me. Okay, Praveen Kumar D, you will be receiving the workbook soon. Workbook for strategic financial management. So please check your mail. You would have received the soft copy of workbook, Mr. Praveen Kumar. Okay. See, mainly not only this discussion is not only applicable for indirect tax, but equally applicable for direct taxes, as well as corporate laws, accounting standards, and even for auditing also. See, as and when you see I am discussing the format only. As and when you see the question paper, most of the questions are practical questions or case study based questions, wherein you should be aware of the concept, and at the same time you should give more and more presentation. That having concept is not sufficient, but presenting it in appropriate manner is required. Isha, can you hear now? Can you hear now? Okay. No. So I am repeating it again. The presentation plays an important role. So first you should have the concept, and then the presentation goes in this way. Whenever you get a question, first you have to answer this question from 4 steps. Point number 1, you have to give the proper reference. Maybe you have to refer to the act. For example, some section 3 of the Excise Act or section 2F of the Excise Act or whatever. You have to give the proper references. And these references may sometimes be even go to notifications, references to notifications or references to case laws mainly. In indirect tax, from case, in those cases, definitely you will get one 16 mark question, and this may range to even 32 marks also. So kindly go through these case laws and try to remember the case name, not the entire citation, but if you can remember the assessee's name. Repeating, Isha, again I am repeating, I am just giving you the details as to the references that you are required to be made. First point is reference. Second, you need to give the facts and discussion, whatever the facts and discussion that you have made, and then you have to write down the provision. So the provision as contained in the reference, and lastly you have to relate the facts and discussion with the provision, and you have to give the conclusion. So 4 steps. Step number 1, reference. Step number 2, the provision. Step number 3, facts and discussion, and step number 4, conclusion. You will be getting step marks for this. Say even if you are not giving reference, but if the provision and your discussion and conclusion, if the answer is correct, definitely you will be getting good marks. The case law names, is it compulsory? Should I always write the case name? Not necessary. But if you can write the decision properly, that is more than sufficient. And then when it comes to the provision, it's not necessary that you have to reproduce the Bare Act definition, but some important points in the definition you should be able to write in the answer. And then it all depends on the way in which you are answering. Relate the provision to the question given. So only then the answer will be effective. Sometimes you should be aware of balanced questions. They may not ask you whether it is correct or whether it is wrong. They may give a scenario wherein you have to use many ifs and but conditions, and based on that you have to answer. For example, they will give a scenario like this. A person is manufacturing so and so product, whether he is required to pay excise duty. So we should simply write, if the said activity comes under the purview of the definition of manufacture under section 2F, yes, he is required to pay excise duty. Otherwise, he is required to pay service tax as per Service Tax Act. That is as per the Finance Act 1994. So it all depends upon the way in which you pick the question. Suppose if it is a balanced question and if you are giving a one-sided answer, definitely the answer will go wrong, because there the examiner is asking you to use the condition. So if this happens, what is the scenario, and if this does not happen, what is the answer? So if you are getting some balanced questions like this, be careful in answering. And apart from that, kindly practice more and more questions for past exams, and these questions you need to understand, or you need to write once based on this, whatever the discussion that we have made so far, based on these 4 points. Again I am repeating, you have to give the reference, and then you have to write down the provision accordingly, and then the facts and discussion, relate the question with the provision, and lastly you give the conclusion. So this is where you can just proper presentation. Not necessarily that you have to give the side headings, but if you can write in this way, obviously the examiner will get impressed with marks. That's the main way. Now it is equally applicable for direct taxation as well as corporate laws and auditing also. Sometimes for accounting standards. And in some cases of practical questions, pure practical questions on valuation under excise, and many students will be just writing the answer. That is not sufficient. You have to kindly provide the working notes. Why you took this number? Why you are not taking? Names not mandatory, but if you are writing the case law name, it's impressive. But no need to write the full citation. Say for example, there is one case called JG Glass Industries case, Union of India versus JG Glass Industries 1972 Supreme Court. All that information is not necessary. You can remember the name, the case name, JG Glass Industries case. For example like this, you have to use the word. sometimes it's very easy to remember the names rather than the institute. So if you can remember, well and good. Even if you are not remembering, as per the laid down case. The court held that. Even if you are confused as to whether it is Supreme Court or High Court, so simply write down the court held that. You can write the decision that way. Doubts related to indirect tax, you can post. As per the laid down case, the court held that. So you have to write down the decision. Okay. So all the very best. And if you have any doubt, you can post the questions at any point of time. And again, we will be having a next video while you are ready. And you can ask at that time. And even before that also, if you have any queries, you can just ask us. And over to L. Murli, sir.
So, see, as far as the discussion on IDT is concerned, Mr. Tarun had a very nice discussion. The same thing is applicable even for accounting standards also. See, actually, it is not really an offline class. There is always a link between the teacher and taught, even though they are located in two different locations. Definitely this webinar is going to be a connecting link, and you can post your queries and specific queries for which we will also be prepared, and you can just address your things, and definitely all your doubts will get clarified. I can tell for sure that this is one of the, or I would just say not one of the best. Please. Can you hear me now? Say, actually what happens when students go for a coaching class, they may be late, they may be missing, and at a point of time when their energy level is low, they just attend to the class just for the sake of attending to the class, they miss out. So this mode of attending to the class will be of great help to all types of students, whether they are very active students attending to the class and missed out a few and missed out a lot. Other one, those who are not attending to the class, and those who have gone into employment, leaving the CA altogether. So we can bring all sorts of students into the mainstream, and when more number of students are getting into CA with greater amount of seriousness, so definitely the pass percentage will definitely go up. So in fact, we were just wondering about what the students would do when they miss a few classes. I know a student who is celebrating today a birthday. He is in the 15th day of not attending to the class because he is admitted into the hospital, and who had come from Vizag for attending to our face-to-face class. He is admitted in the hospital, and we are really worried about us. What is that we can do for them? So definitely for you people who have just got this tablet mode, definitely it is going to be of extreme help is what I would just say. I would only request you to tell good things to all your friends about the availability of such a facility which no other coaching class in India just provided at your doorstep, and that too for a period of 1 year or so. And soon after taking up the examination, you would know that you are clearing the examination. You can gift this to your juniors who are very well deserved, who could not attend to any class. Definitely we are providing such an help to all students community. Are you in a position to hear Isha? Do you have any specific queries on the subjects that I handle? How about Mayuresh? Are you hearing me? Oh. Yeah. So actually, let us just take up the case of SFM. So the lectures were done, and that point of time, I really doubted on certain issues, especially with regard to taxation. If cost of equity were to be considered as a cost, we normally take up D1 divided by P0 on the assumption that tax is paid by equity shareholders. Now that the tax is not paid by shareholders, tax is paid by the company. For the company, the cost of equity is not the equity dividend that they pay to shareholders. We should also take into account the amount paid to the company, that is to taxation department, on account of this dividend distribution tax. So the cost of equity computation will be in the form of D1 into 1 plus dividend distribution tax bracket close divided by price. So this sort of impact may be there in SFM, that is on account of corporate dividend tax. There can be some change in the formula. So please be aware of this impact of taxation in SFM. So please just don't study isolatedly taxation as a separate subject. Also take into account this sort of changes that we are going to incorporate. So it is that one particular thing. And secondly, so in our recent class at Chennai, we had one discussion on bond valuation. Please just visualize, it is a scenario where your costlier bond is to be replaced by a cheaper bond. So that point of time, the company can take the bond which is considered to be costly. Say for example, 16% is the rate at which bond was issued some 2 years back. Now money is available in the market at 11%. Why a company need to pay at 16% when money is available at 11%? So quite naturally the company might feel that paying 16% would be costly. So they can replace a costlier bond with cheaper bond. So when they break the contract, there is a premium that they got to pay. The premium will be paid at the year beginning, whereas the premium which will be claimed as expenditure on which tax benefit will be realized at the end of the year. So in our institute suggested answer, that is in one of the examinations, they have taken up premium and the tax benefit out of that at year 0, whereas in yet another problem, they have taken up premium payment at year 0 and the tax saving on the premium they have taken up at year number 1. So this sort of different approaches, our institute itself had just done it in the past. So I would only be requesting you people that under examination condition, it is not going to be a time-taking task, that you can make a presentation both ways also. So you can have one extra column. So in one particular column, you can take up premium less taxation at the same point of time by year 0 itself. In another case, you take up the premium payment by year 0 and the tax effect on which will be taken up at year number 1. So this way, you can as well try two different approaches and it is not going to take extra bit of time. So this is considered to be a very important matter, because one of our students at Chennai in the classroom was objecting for two different answers given by our institute. So there is no necessity to be very anxious about this. It is not going to take much time, 2 minutes extra time. One column you take up where premium to be paid by year 0, tax saving by year number 1. In another column you take up the premium as well as tax saving at the same point of time and you can work. Please, Mr. Alok, you can just try. If you have any query, you can just take up. Say, I was just discussing more on to a particular issue, because this webinar timing is between 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock, and if there were to be some people who are joining a little late, so for them also we are just taking up this matter for discussion. So as far as these tablet or video based classes are concerned, so definitely the students can feel confident and they can subscribe, bring in more subscribers, not for the benefit of Shriram Academy or e-learning company. It is for the students community and for the friends as a whole. So let me tell you, what is not done by our CA Institute or by any other coaching classes, when we are in a position to bring out, so please encourage us by bringing more subscription. So not for the sake of marketing, I am just telling you, the efforts whatever we have just taken should reach one and all, and we are just getting a lot of encouragements from almost all sectors, but it has become our duty to tell those who are coming for webinar also, please communicate, please do tell to your friends and relatives when they want quality coaching, let them subscribe. It is not that we are trying to substitute